This year in April, Heather and I and our kids are living in Fonthill, and we've been renting there for 4 years. And we knew construction was going to come into that area. We asked for a 60-day notice. And for the last year or so, we've been looking because we knew it was going to come. And all of a sudden, bang, in April, we get the 60-day notice. We have to be moved out. We have no money saved. We're hand to mouth. We're ministry. And it was just putting out there and going to look at rented property and then finding one that was for sale. And one of our ministry team people coming on side and saying, I'll help with the down payment. And 60 days later, we're in this beautiful house, 2,400 square feet, old style house. We have 2 teenage girls. We have a high school 2 blocks away from here. The thing is, with this house, I had to give away a lot that was attached to me. In other words, there's no garage. You know, it's always been my ministry. Roll a hot rod out, roll a chopper out, talk to the kids in the neighborhood. You know, and then OZZY'S garage where you actually build them and you bring guys there. And to not have a garage, I just went, okay. And you know, because I have Rich, I was thinking, well, I can run guys out, you know, so I could still maintain what I was doing.
It's not just a drop-in, it's a scheduled time, and it becomes difficult with that, right?
Yeah, so. And it doesn't reach my community. Right. It's me pulling the odd guy out. Port Colborne is a small little community with churches on almost every corner. This white building here is the methadone clinic. This is the Welland Canal I was threatened to be thrown in. We would die from misadventure, that's what it would be. My cousin died from that. They found him in the Welland Canal. The guys were catching me, and I had to jump out the window as they were taking me to places. And one time they took me to a guy, Billy Braille, he was the boss of the crossbreeds. They took me to him to kill me, and he looked at them and said, "That's a kid," and turned and walked away. So every once in a while I got a pass, right? So here I am, I'm in a new area. We want to walk to a church and go to church, because a lot of times me going to church is me speaking at a church. Right. So the pastor that came to me in prison, Gary, said to us, one time I said, "Is it okay if I join another church?" And he goes, "Go join 100.
You're too much for one church.
We know churches are just buildings. It's the people that are in them that create the church. And so I walk around and I start looking at St. James, St. Brendan Anglican Church. So Heather and I and the kids, we went one Sunday, and at the end of the service, they talked about the area that they're looking at here, the vision they have for this corner here, this derelict corner and 2 empty buildings. Look at that. They said they purchased the building. We purchased that one and the one behind, and I went, oh, you're a kid. When they were talking about them, I'd already looked at the back one and realized I used to shoot up there 45 years ago. And here they are saying they've bought the building, but they don't know what they're going to do with it. And I looked at Heather and went, I know what I want to do with it. At the end of the service, we met Rob and talked to him about who we are, and gave a book and gave a card and said, here's who we are, here's what we want to do. Right now we're getting the keys and we're starting to work in there, and it will be OZZY'S Garage, part of Truth for Teens. We found terrariums with actually dead snakes in them.
Really?
So the last time it was a snake pit. Back when Mother, Garnet McEwen, was the biker down here, he had that front one. There was a couple Harleys in there, leather jackets, some paraphernalia, and then like a boys club at the back where they'd sit around and talk and everything. And then this back in here was all Harleys and stuff. You could pull a car in and store a couple hot rods here, you know. And back then we drove old bikes, you know, like you had to wrench on them when you were done riding, and it was out of the way, it was hidden. Yeah. And
so that's where you got into trouble.
Yeah.
You used to do drugs in this building.
Yep.
Now you're gonna run OZZY'S Garage out of there. Yeah. Incredible.
The smoking, you forget how to spell. When I first came here and looked at it, I went around, we didn't have keys to get in, and Heather and I went around and looked through the window, and when I looked in, I went, oh yeah, I can visualize. Yeah. And this is a place where a cop can bring a kid that he's caught with a bag of dope, and he's going to do a diversion with him. Take you to OZZY, and you're going to spend an hour talking to him, or you're going to jail. Right? And that really worked in Sudbury, North Bay. You know, I remember when I graduated from McMaster in Addiction Care Worker Diploma Program, they said, we want to hire you. And I says, what are you talking about? I'm just getting out of the pen, you know? And I says, why would you want to hire me? And they said, never do these 2 meet. Yeah. Never does the education and the addiction, never does this guy become healthy enough to do this. Yeah. But I said, no, my thing is to go out and talk to kids, and that was the start of Truth for Teens, which became the start of OZZY'S Garage. And so that's what I want to do here, is build something old with young guys. And then the bike can be over here, off to the side. It can wheel out of the way. Remember, it's just a vehicle. It just gets the kids in. It's something cool to work on every once in a while. And it's something with the techniques we learn. Of course, we're going to be bringing them out to your place too and stuff. Right? But just reclaiming this area. And so this is what we want to do, OZZY'S Garage.
That's awesome. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because you never know what you're going to see next week on the Boss Garage. If you like what you see and you want to support Rick, head over to truthforteens.com. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.